Institute of Technology and Helmholtz AI.
Yeah, hi everyone. My colleagues and I are working on one of the projects in the unlock call that was mentioned yesterday, so benchmarking. And our project is called RenewBench, which is about building a database, a benchmark database for energy data, in particular renewable energy data. So we lovingly called our poster real energy data you can actually use. Okay, so why is energy data of interest? Well, as you can imagine, with sort of the energy that is generated by wind farms or solar parks, if we have that kind of data, we can forecast how much these might actually produce in the future. We can detect faults and do all kinds of cool things with that. But for that, we obviously need a lot of data, and this data is scattered. If you think about the world and all the energy operators that exist across it, each produce their data in different means and fashions, and so it's quite hard to access. And at the same time, if we think about forecasting energy, especially renewable energy, then obviously weather comes to mind. How much energy our different solar parks and wind farms will be producing? That generally depends on how much the sun is shining and how much wind is blowing. But this is often not considered in the same frame as energy data, mainly due to the complexity of the data, as we heard yesterday in the keynote as well. So as part of our project for this year, we're planning on building this database, the first unified database of energy and weather data, and the aim is for it to be a global coverage, so to provide data throughout the globe. And we, at the same time, also prepare this, consolidate the data, make it AI ready for your usage, and this means attributing it with metadata and providing it in a structured storage format. And here the important aspect, if you've ever worked with weather data or energy, it's a lot of data, so allowing for fast querying and downloading. We spent some time on to build an infrastructure that allows for this for users, and so consolidated. Our aim is to build this fair data set, allow for different benchmarking tasks, and make it accessible to everyone. And we plan to do this with an easy-to-use Python package that we're developing for anyone to use. And so come visit us at our poster for more information. We have our GitHub as well, and you can leave any ideas and feedback. And I left a picture of the poster because it's in the very far back. Come by.
Thanks a lot. So our next speaker will be Audita Vidya Astuti from the Helmholtz-Zentrum Dresden-Rossendorf and the Dresden Chair of Data Science and Earth Observation at TUM.
Okay, hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Audita. I am from Helmholtz-Zentrum Dresden-Rossendorf, and I am also a master student at the Technical University of Munich. And today, I would like to give a presentation of our research with the title of the cross-modalities pre-training of the LiDAR Sparse and the dense image modalities for global canopy height estimation. So our main goal is we want to build the foundational model, which is part of the 3D ABC foundational model that we aim to compute the global canopy stock, global canopy height, and carbon stock estimation on Earth, and with some modalities. And in here, we are using two modalities. The first modalities is GEDI, and also the second modalities is the harmonized Landsat Sentinel, which is the optical imagery. So maybe most of you know GEDI from Star Wars, but in this case, GEDI is the spaceborne. It is a spaceborne satellite, which is mounted in the International Space Station. And the product of the GEDI itself, it is the Sparse LiDAR. And one of the product is the waveform dataset. So we want to build the self-supervised learning that from the GEDI itself. And we want to fuse those waveform with our optical imagery, which is the HLS. And how do we do that? So in here we are using the, applying the pre-training, where we try to build the self-supervised learning to learn from GEDI itself, and then after the pre-training, we apply the fine-tuning task, which in the fine-tuning task, we are using the teacher-student algorithm, which we fuse the GEDI as the teacher and the HLS as the students. And then from this information, we will derive for the downstream tasks, which in this research we have two downstream tasks. First is to compute the global canopy height, and the second downstream task is we aim to compute the above ground density. And in this research, we are in the step of the self-supervised learning. So we already finished the self-supervised learning for the waveform. And if you have any more question, I will be happy to answer in my poster area. So my poster ID is 1278. I will be happy to see you there in the poster, which is close to the entrance area. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And last up, we have João Areias Saraiva from the Hybrid Methods in Artificial Intelligence and Machining group at the University of Rostock and the DZNE in Rostock.
Hi everyone, I'm João. The motivation for this work arises from the fact that most imaging, biosignals, lab, genetic data that are acquired in hospitals for clinical purposes will never be used for research, mostly because there is no structured metadata associated, and it's very expensive to create it. So in research, we need metadata in this type of biomedical research for multiple labeling and grouping cohort purposes. Some examples of it are when you need to filter patients by inclusion and exclusion criteria, when you need targets for machine learning training, like ones and zeros, has disease, doesn't have disease, or when you just need numerical values for covariates in some statistical analysis. So it so happens that all of this rich information and much more lives unstructured in natural text, hidden in electronic health records. So the idea was simple, to have a system that can extract structured labels from these unstructured clinical texts. So the requirements for this system was that first, these labels need to be machine readable, of course. So we first, as a case study, started only to label diagnoses and symptoms that were described in the International Classification of Diseases. Second, for different research purposes in different projects, we might need to have these labels with different levels of precision. So for instance, in my project, I might want to know which patients are hypertensive and which ones are not. I might not be interested in knowing which subtype of hypertension they have, meaning I am fine with having up to level 2 ICD-3 labels. And third, of course, these systems need to be with self-hosted models for privacy reasons. So let me walk you through this method. First, the text goes into a natural entity recognition model, a classic one that just extracts identifies the diagnosis and symptoms, and then this goes into a search in a RAG database where we kind of get the most prominent candidate ICD codes, and also you see there some abbreviations from the SNOMED ontologies and others, and clinical jargon. And then from these candidate codes, we actually give this to a small LLM that has the task to actually validate if these classifications are correct or not, and provide actual text evidence with it. So for instance, in some example, you might see that in the bottom, diaphoresis was identified as a relevant entity back in stage 1, but actually the text says that there is the absence of diaphoresis, and so this needs to be discarded. In total, we evaluated on 200 letters from an English public dataset, and this performs well than simply asking the LLM, the same LLM, to guess the ICD codes in a one-shot manner. This was a work from a master student of ours, so if you want to discuss further these results, we will be happy to in this poster 10.6 later. Thank you.